Hello. Oh my gosh, I just realized I have a millennial pause. I'm like, are we going? Is it starting? Okay. Hi everyone. Um, I'm glad to see everybody for our first part of our one shot. Um, we are playing All Darkness Will Flee From You. um, an investigative little story set in the Parnac region of the Unending Spiral setting. Uh, let's see. Let's get started. So we all know each other. The players have all introduced been introduced to one another. We know that our characters are well acquainted with one another, and that there is a job to do. So I did not. I was meant to have uh, a nice little, written letter for you. I don't have that for you. It was a little hectic, but I think you'll get all the information that you need anyway. So we begin on a uh, rainy day, um, a Mons, the first day of the sixth day, and the last day of the month. Uh, Veshiko, as a coastal city, gets its share of humid, rainy days at the end of the summer, and today is one of those days. The streets are paved and cobbled. There are street lights powered by kind of minor alchemical and magical uh, light sources. There's still traffic in the streets despite the rain. Colorful umbrellas go up to shield people from the wetness. The few vendors, or I'm sorry, the many vendors on the streets throw up their awnings so that people perusing the, handmade products um, and looking for a bite to eat on the street have somewhere dry to sit or to peruse. So your character is arriving at the headquarters of the Upper City Investigators Consortium, where you are to receive a debriefing or a briefing on a new case. The consortium headquarters is a two-story stone building with colorful awnings kind of sweeping out from uh, the first and second levels. Um, it has wooden window panes and kind of warped glass, whether it's because it's just old or maybe someone decided to do it on purpose to protect the 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 confidentiality of clients seeking services is not clear. Um, but here you are. So, who I wonder would arrive first? If you think your
Yoth,
character, okay, Yoth.
punctual.
Let's say the meeting is at 9 a.m. You're there at 8:50,
8:45. Yep.
8:45. Okay. So, there's a lobby. There's a kind of quiet administrator sitting at the lobby. She is a half elf with long blonde hair. Um, and she is kind of scribbling some notes and organizing her records um, as you arrive.
I know where I want to go, or should I be inquiring with the clerk regarding that place?
You know where you want to go. You also know that the president, your appointment is with the president
Hmm,
of the organization. You know that like you won't be seen until you're called in.
got it. So then, if there's a waiting area, then I'll go ahead and take a seat. Pull out my book. In like the very first moments of the book being opened and me kind of just casually starting to read it, tentacles will kind of burst out. Just small ones will kind of burst out for a second. I'll very quickly push those underneath. If the clerk kind of notices, I'll kind of look at
Mhm.
her like, and then I'll kind of move the page and try and act as casual as if nothing had happened at all.
You do clock the clerk kind of like like looking and not being too concerned. She's used to spellcasters coming in and out of the consortium.
And I wait patiently and quiet.
All right, the minutes tick by. The rain doesn't let up. Who's next to step in to the lobby?
Um, Probably Emmerich.
Okay.
He's eager to get to work, but as he like walks in, he's kind of like snacking on like a little, like a skewered seafood,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of like finishes it off, and then he's like picking his teeth with it. Um, he kind of looks over and he sees you off, and then he spies the clerk and walks over and kind of leans on the desk and says, in Elvish, "It's a fine day, isn't it? I'm here to see the president about a missing woman."
Uh, the clerk gives you a pleasant smile. She says, yes, the president is will be ready for you soon. She is finishing up a little bit of paperwork, but I have all of you on the agenda. As soon as all of your parties here, you can step in and see her.
Very well. Well, I'll be right over here if you need anything.
All right, yeah, of course. Go ahead, take a seat.
He sits down and he kind of like sits down with like a seat between him and Yoth, and then he like takes a second and kind of like does one of these to kind of spy a
Mhm.
little bit and see what he's reading.
Oh, so like
And then
when he kind of leans over and looks towards the book, I'll kind of like move the book towards him so he can see it more clearly, and kind of lean in, and I'll kind of point, and I'll say, "So you see, it is written in the demon's speech. You might not be able to understand it." And then kind of
I'm
loosely,
sorry, are you referring to Infernal or Abyssal?
abyssal would be demons. So
Hmm.
no, it's not infernal. It's abyssal, which I speak as well. But
The only one I didn't have room for.
I lean in, and Emmerich to me strikes me as kind of like a front liner, right? Or no? Like someone that kind of like barges into things, goes forward, is up at the front. At this point, I would like to take a second to very cautiously and very carefully slip a small wriggling bit of tentacle into his pocket. And in the process, I would like to utilize my ability to make a single person a. Where is it? Where's my invocation? Where's my invocation? Where is it? I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's the stuff I get from being a cool, great old one
Mm-hmm.
warlock. Gaze of Two Minds. So I touch a willing humanoid, and again, I'm going to leave it to Chad whether or not he decides he's willing or not. But I don't want it to be like a big to do in explaining it. I want to be more flavorful. But anyways, this little like wriggling bit of tentacle, I'm just going to leave on his person. If he's willing, out of character, to let me do this, then I can, as long as we're on the same plane of existence, effectively use you as my familiar. I can look through your eyes. I can see what you're seeing. I can hear what you're hearing as long as I take an action to do it.
You can
Do
torture
you
him with this
manage to?
mercilessly.
Do
He'll
you
never be able to
manage-
masturbate. Or he could.
Or he'll never stop.
So,
Disgusting.
Sorry, Chad.
so you get slipped this little tentacle. I think are you using your
Gaze of Two
The
Minds.
card sleeve on that.
are you trying to do this like sneakily? You're trying to sneak it?
So yeah, for flavor, I'm trying to sneak it. But again, out of character, I'm basically explaining to Chad
Okay.
and Imric. Not so much Imric, it's just for flavor. I
Uh-huh.
kind of want it to just be kind of a something that, is done. But I guess in my
Okay.
kind of deceptive methods, I would make him quote unquote willing to it by reading him the passages and kind of luring him into the wanting to be a part of the Two Minds.
When John's trying to talk him into this, Artie will burst through the door. Clearly left the house unprepared for humid, muggy weather. If it's drizzling, he's probably very wet.
Mhm.
And he'll like brush himself off and there's shake a little bit, kind of like a dog. And there's, water's getting everywhere, maybe a little bit on John's book. And he'll look sheepishly at Sabrina and apologize profusely. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the mess. I'm not late. Am I late again?
So-
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Sabrina looks fucking disgusted. Like this creature just tracked mud in, sprayed all over me. She kind of grits her teeth, and in a very kind of fake tone says, "Oh, Artie, don't worry about it. We'll clean this up right away." And she, kind of flicks her perfectly manicured hand and prestidigitates the mess away.
Where the water
You're-
hits the book, Imric, as we're looking at it, you'll see that the runes kind of like change to different runes. Like the thing you're looking at is a veil, and you also see that the water steams immediately off of the pages.
That's normal.
Yeah, his like eyebrows kind of go up, and he just says, "Fascinating."
We'll plop down next to Yoth and peer over his shoulder and pester him. Hey, what are you reading? What's that?
I probably interrupted mid slipping of the worm.
Oh, very much so.
I just want to check, Chad. Are you cool with me putting the tentacle in your pocket or targeting you with Gaze of Two Minds? If not, it's so cool.
I mean, I would like you to roll for the worm, and depending on how that goes,
Okay, I mean,
because like if he does find the worm, I've already got like
I'll do you one
already
better.
got a bit lined up.
I'll do you one better. So if you want it to be revealed that you caught it out, then you can go for that, and that's you rejecting the worm. If you want to let it slip in, then I go ahead and succeed. You're the decider. I don't want to have to roll against a player. So if you don't want to be caught out with a worm in your pocket, you see it happening, and if you do want to have the worm in your pocket, then everything just slides in nice and easy.
Now, what like as far as being a familiar, that's essentially like, am I aware of that?
Well, yeah, you would be aware of it. You would be aware of the thing in your pocket, and it would just seem right. You would just have it. But then you can see I posted the Gaze of Two Minds. Basically, as an action, I can effectively use you as my sightline.
I got you.
And just to be clear, this does not remove any of Imric's.
Agency.
It's only until the end of your next turn. I got you.
Yeah, and Imric isn't like frozen or like
Yeah, it's not like charming or
right.
it doesn't supplant my.
It's basically
He's got a
Yeah.
hitchhiker
So
behind your
okay,
eyes.
so he notices the worm, but he doesn't realize it's coming from you, and he sees this kind of wriggling.
okay.
He says, "Oh, I guess the food wasn't quite cooked."
Okay.
And then he just like looks at it, and he looks around, and he doesn't spy any sort of trash receptacle, and then he just puts it in his pocket.
So in this process, I'm going to basically kind of just test like the the senses because I want to become acclimated to them, so that in the future, when we're in the investigation, I'll be able to more readily use this ability. And basically, I'm just getting used to the being an elf or half elf for a second. And when Artie kind of is
Like,
looking,
have you ever?
go ahead. You're gonna say something naughty.
I was just gonna say, have you ever seen like the dancing octopus?
Yeah, effectively that's what it is. But then
Yeah,
when
it's
Artie
kind of like
starts
that.
looking over, I'll kind of say it's in a really demonic language. I can translate, and I'll kind of go through the same spiel I was with Emmerich, which is again mostly related to dualities.
RD, are you thinking, yeah, I want to know. I want the translation.
Or like
Please, all the details.
as I'm telling the story, yeah,
Morbid curiosity.
it's mostly about the duality of rest and wake,
Hmm.
the two minds of a conscious individual and an unconscious individual.
We are right at 9 a.m. Who comes in right on time?
Not me.
Okay.
Yeah, Garn's going to be just a few minutes
It is
after.
now
Probably.
9:05.
Yeah, so Jan comes like trotting down the stairs. Like, oh, we're all down here. I thought we were meeting in one of the upstairs meeting rooms. I let myself in. You'll look over at Sabrina. Morning.
Oh, good morning. Yes, well, please do your best to use the front door if you can. I know you're an agile one.
Oh, it's wet out. I didn't want to track mud through your wonderful foyer here.
Where did you track the mud through? She looks worried.
The rest of the place.
Yeah, Jan's not going to answer that question. He's going to very pointedly
You see
look
Sabrina
away.
like drop everything and like scuttle upstairs to go see where
Just
if
a
anything
long
needs to be
trail of
prestidigitated.
drip marks and mud from one of the second floor meeting rooms all the way through the hallways down the
Oh
stairs.
God.
Oh no.
You hear the little like kind of magical twinkle from upstairs as she prestidigitates. Okay.
Gosh.
And you join your colleagues.
Yeah, I'm going to go stand over next to Artie.
You see Yoth kind of holding open this, clearly demonic text and sort of explaining to a captivated Artie and a curious Emmerich.
It's like, oh, cool. Yoth, you've got one too. And Jan will pull out like this very old, weathered, leather-bound journal. As he opens it, you can see like a few like star charts fall out, coastal maps fall out.
Oh no.
He quickly picks them up and presents the book for Yoth's inspection. What you're looking at is, those books from like the 60s and 70s that had like the footprints with the dotted lines to show dance steps?
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing like on the left page, you've got bipedal footprints doing dance steps. And then on the right-hand page, you've got a sort of transliterated quadruped version of what the bipedal footsteps are doing. And with your keen arcane mind, I don't think it's too presumptuous to assume that you would recognize that these are tracing out different arcane runes for various spells that you probably learned when you were, like, before you even arrived. Like, this is just basic wizard stuff.
You'll actually watch as I kind of close the book and set it into, or as Yoth sets the book into his lap, he kind of looks at the book and his eyes flare, kind of bright, icy blue, as I cast Detect Magic without components. Is the book magical?
Just an ordinary wizard spellbook.
Okay. So it has that kind of lingering kind of trace magic of the magic inks. Okay.
Just enough to keep it clean.
Kind of eyes like flutter and go back to their normal cool like blue color or purple color. I don't remember. But he looks at it and says, "Oh, excellent, perfect, very interesting method of notating the runes." I'm assuming that
Yeah.
your components involve gestures towards the hooves.
Yeah, and Jan will fill you in that this is blade singing
Oh,
in book form
Oh shit!
that he learned with the sea elves.
it's actually very interesting you note that. After my time here in this city, I will be heading up to Varwin, and I might have a purchase to enter into Savarias' choir of blades.
Those were definitely words. I don't know what that is.
There's a big school in the Elvish province called Savarias.
Oh no, that was in character.
Okay, my statement. There is a very large college of mages in the Elvish province of Arwen that they have a school for blade singers, and they call themselves the Choir of Blades.
Oh, that's neat. Well, yeah, if you want to travel with some sea elves on your way there, I can probably set you up with an introduction at
That
some
might
point.
be beneficial.
Cool. And then he's going to give Artie a slap on the back of the shoulder. And good to see you, bud. So you made it safe and sound?
Vic, you're muted.
I hug him and I'm a little moist.
Aww.
Jan is used to it.
Sabrina returns. Oh, the president is ready to see you all. Where's aren't you missing a person? It's late already.
It's probably like 15 after, and she just like kind of like casually walks in holding a weasel or some sort of like rodent, and kind of hands it to Sabrina, and it's just like, I'm so sorry. I had to find to rescue this. It was about to get run over.
Oh, well, I don't know what what
I don't know what to do.
the president is waiting for all of you.
Great. If you know anyone who needs a weasel. She kind of like
here.
holds it up awkwardly.
Emmerich just says, "I'll take that," and he takes it out of the clerk's hands, and then he says, "Oh, you look hungry, little fella," and he like pulls the tentacle out of his pocket and like offers it to the weasel.
What you'll notice is that when it bites into it, it's almost as if it were biting into like a hologram,
Oh.
and it just kind of pierces through it. And when you're like looking at it, you're holding it, and you touch it, solid, and it's still wriggling. But when the weasel tries to bite it, it just seems to just be transparent like a figment.
Oh, that is very. Ugh. And then he like kind of does one of these where he looks off to the side and he says, "What the hell did I eat?"
Where did I get this? Whistle. I'll head up to the president's if no one else is taking lead.
Yeah, I'll follow.
As we head up, are there any like potted plants around?
Sure. There's potted plants, kind of like mother-in-law's tongue, that kind of like long white and green striped sort of leafy plant.
So Emmerich, weasel in one hand, he kind of like hangs back a little bit, kind of like trailing, maybe like in the middle of the group or so, and he has like the little tentacle in his other hand. And as he like follows up, he kind of gives it one last look, and then he's just like tosses it into one of the plants.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "I don't know what that is, but it's weirding me out, and so I'm just gonna casually get rid of it."
We have a dark feeling that the tentacle will find its way back into Emmerich's pocket when he least expects it. But I do, you flick it right into the potted plant, and the weasel kind of like snaps at it, like it's gonna try to take a bite out of it, and looks very disappointed when its little teeth just clack in midair.
It's like that orange cat that pretends to
It's-
chew on TikTok. You know the one?
No.
Oh.
I want to know.
And then it literally makes the chewing sound. But it's
Iconic.
a weasel. I'll send it to you later.
Thank you.
It's orange cat behavior.
I've seen that thing like a million different memes.
All right. So all of you kind of move together to the second floor where you find the president's office. The doors open. It is cozily decorated. There's bookcases filled with tomes. There's like a collection of like crystals and like nothing powerfully arcane. It's really just there for the beautification. And then there's like a desk like up towards the window, and on top of that is like an almost identical like model of the room that you're in, but in miniature, and standing at like maybe 5 feet tall, 5 inches tall, is the president of the consortium, President Cindy Jauharati. Oh yes, come in, all of you. I've been waiting. Come in, have a seat. There's like there's enough seats for 4 of you to sit. 1 of you will have to stand.
I will happily stand.
Artie, of course, stands.
I'll also stand.
There's 1 empty seat, awkwardly, and
Seat for the weasel.
seeing the
Seat for
other
the
two.
weasel.
The weasel.
put the weasel in the seat.
Before that
Wait, the
happens, seeing
centaur is
that-
also standing.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Given
Why do
that
you presume that's the
the other-
case?
I'm
yeah,
not.
given the other two were sort of like eyeing the seat and then, pointedly not sitting down, Jan's going to be like, well, I mean, someone has to take it. And he's going to try and like wiggle his butt
Oh no.
into the seat. It's not going to go well. He's
Oh
going to
no.
pull his beanie off. He's got a bold on top, just proper crime dome.
Oh my god.
And he still has that like the horseshoe shape of hair, like from the ears around the back. But on top, it's just all gone.
The horseshoe shape, because he's part horse.
And then, yeah, he'll get up and just sort of slowly off to one corner. Leave the
Even
seat
though
vacant.
President Jauharati is quite small and maybe it's hard to see her face, she clearly looks just like, oh my god, this group. What are we doing?
We're the
here?
best
Okay.
though.
So seat's now clear for the weasel.
Yeah, no, well, Imric just like sits down and he's just like holding the weasel and petting it like a cat.
Aw.
Dead center, right in front of the president. Me.
Yeah, right. The star student, the star pupil at the front of the class,
Class pet.
class pet, President Jauharati, kind of, flits up into the air, her beautiful acid green wings. She's dressed smartly in like a blazer and slacks, and her beautiful kind of curly brown hair is piled up on top of her head. Well, I'm glad to see everybody. Unfortunately, it's not under happy circumstances. All of you know that we have received a request from Elder Inyotisi, one of the lecturers at the university. His colleague, Lady Unatachi, a respected scholar, has gone missing. From what he tells us, it seems like she is a serious scholar with connections in the community and her family, strong relationships. There really is no reason for her to have run off. I think it's very unlikely, and so does Elder Inyotisi. It's very unlikely that she has just run off. I received a list of questions from Imric. Let me pull them through. Pull them up. Okay. I will work on getting you answers to these questions. You ask about her specialty, where she was last seen, what she was working on, how long she's been missing, and who her associates are. So, first thing that I wanted to tell you is that her fee or the fee for this service was paid by partially by the university and partially by Lady Unatachi's family. Her sister is a successful businesswoman in the community and is shouldering part of that of the cost. You may want to speak with them both as you're gathering information. Let's see. I'm not totally sure what her specialty is within history. I know that she is a historian, but exactly what she studies, you'll have to ask her colleague, Elder Inotisi. Where she was last seen is not clear. The last time that her family saw her was at her sister's house on the day of Dan, the 24th of this month.
Ah,
So about a
the
6
day
day
of
ago.
Dan.
About a 6 day.
Always such trouble.
Her sister and had a dinner at her house, and Lady Unatachi attended. That's the last time they've seen her.
Fascinating.
Yes, it's quite a mystery. She was working on, as far as I can tell, again, I haven't looked very deeply into her scholarship, but it appears she is concerned with the symbology and meaning of some of the old dwarvish artwork that has been recovered here in our region.
Ah. So she's trying to piece together the history of the dwarves in this area.
That's right. It seems like that's her interest, is the dwarves. I really don't know too much more about exactly what she's doing with that information or where she's gathering it. I'm certain others will have more information.
Very well. Thank you for your help. And you said her colleague was an elder.
Yes, Elder Inotisi. I'm going to copy the name in for your notes. Elder Inotisi is a poet at the university.
All right. Let me see here.
And her sister is Lady Shuun Choshini, who is a respected businesswoman. You can find Inotisi at the university and Shuun Choshini at the in her estate. Neither are too far from here.
Okay, so Elder Inyo is her associate. He's the one that sort of opened this case.
Mm-hmm.
Zunsho Shini is her sister.
Mm-hmm. Her elder sister.
And to be sure,
I'm sorry, what was the name of the woman that's missing?
Unatachi.
And to be sure, no one has received any notification from a potential culprit. Is that correct?
Yes, there hasn't been a ransom note as far as we know. No one is claiming any responsibility for this disappearance. So yeah, if it were a ransom, surely we would know by now.
And it is the belief of the president that her leaving of her own accord was highly unlikely. So then, whoever abducted her would have done so because they wanted her specifically, not for some ulterior motive. Otherwise, they would have made it clear by now, what with the 6 day already passing.
Sure. Well, there are many reasons that a person can go missing in a big city. Um, Certainly, um, it seems like she could have been targeted. Then again, she wasn't doing anything particularly controversial that I can tell, so it would be hard to say.
Hmm.
I may have missed this a moment ago, but when we found out that she had gone missing 6 days ago, did we also find out where she was last seen?
She was last seen uh, by her sister and their family at their estate, um, and then has not been seen again.
Do we know the time she left her family home?
I don't have that recorded in the notes. You'll have to check with her sister.
So she's been missing for 6 days. When did the family get in touch with us?
The family provided or made their request uh, on Fear 2 days ago. Their request took a while to process. As you know, it's hard to get help on Day of Dan. And so things got a little slowed down, or we got a bit behind in assigning the case. But normally with a case like this, it would have been immediate. But they didn't. We didn't receive it until late in the day on the 29th.
What made them? I guess I'm wondering when did they get suspicious that she was gone? Does she live at home?
Artie, I'm certain you can ask these questions of the people that you are investigating. I'm certain I don't know.
Already gazes into the middle distance thoughtfully.
Do the wings do anything strange at that moment? Because I kind of picked up on her.
Nah, she's not. She's not like pissed the fuck off. She's just like, this is clearly not the investigative one.
Right.
No, but Emmerich is like looking at him with like a look of a little like a slight look of approval. Like he's like yeah, you know, he's on the right track. He's got the right stuff. Like he's got good
Oh,
instincts.
the president does not look approving. All right. Well, I've given you all the information that I have for you. If you please, on your way out, uh, there's been there has been a delivery of some useful magic items. Please check the room here at the end of the hallway on the right. You can take anything you might find useful. One each, please. Don't get greedy. Okay, everybody out. I got things to do. And she kind of like flutters and sort of like, obviously she's not big enough to like push you out the door, but she sort of like flutters, motioning all of you to get the fuck out. If you go check in that room, you can find any uncommon magic item that you want, pick one, and then you can put it on your sheet. You can do it now, you can do it if it, later, whatever. So, um, one each. And you all know your magic items, so I'm sure you can think of something useful.
And
That's
what
well
about the
leaving.
weasel?
Oh, just like any.
Hey,
Oh, Imric, I'm assuming like you just the weasel has now become part of your outfit. Like it's kind of sticking out of
Yeah,
your
I mean,
pocket.
if as long as he's comfortable, he's not gonna like cause a nuisance.
I
So like,
think
put him into his little like satchel, so you see like this little weasel face. Like,
a weasel head, kind of like tongue, kind of popping out a little bit.
As we're leaving the office, Jan's just going to quickly swing by the chair, just give it a little bit of a nudge, bit of a rock, and realize that one of the legs is now cracked, and makes haste for the door.
You see, well, if roll a perception check.
Two.
Okay. You don't see her eye twitch as she notices that the chair's broken. Slightly broken.
oh, that would make me like the best detective ever. Hmm.
Oh, I'm typing with my mic on. I'm sorry.
Alrighty. As you all kind of peruse your and you can just drag and drop it into your sheet or whatever, and you can put in the chat whatever you're taking, just so that I know what you're taking.
Yeah, definitely.
So working at the consortium, you know that there are a couple of resources for you. You know that Sabrina will usually have some information about the case. As they come in, sometimes she hears things from people talking in the waiting area in the lobby, or as they're discussing the case with the client. She's usually has something helpful. You know that one of the that there is a there's a cleric that works in the that works as a consultant, whose name is Shaun, and she often will have some kind of information. She kind of has historically a lot of connections with people that are in the know. And there is another consultant, a kind of like an arcanic consultant, Elder Ina, who is kind of like the resident like old wizard of at the consortium. He might have information about anything related to magic or history.
So he'll be someone good to talk to after we've figured out what she was studying, perhaps, because they both have links to history.
Yeah.
Well, I think Imric is going to go with the headband of intellect.
Good call. What does the headband look like?
It's very fine, like gold and silver. And it has like a little like, it's like decorated with like opals, like just like a little piece of like turquoise in the middle.
It's fashion. I love it.
Like at first he picks it up and he looks at it and he's like, ooh, and then he tries it on.
Mm-hmm.
And at first he like puts it on just to try it on, but when he puts it on and he like feels like the rush of like intelligence, it's like, oh yes, and it like doesn't even occur to him to take it off. It's like it was made for him.
Yeah, agreed. Perfect. All right, we have we got one. Any more?
Um, weapon of warning for
Warning,
Artie.
the party cannot be surprised.
Weapon of warning. Good call. That's a good one. What kind of weapon did you find?
Whatever my character was originally equipped with.
Okay.
Longsword.
Nice.
I'm gonna grab a pair of sending stones, and I'm gonna leave one with the president since she is probably wanting to be made aware of updates of our process, and also if we have a situation where we need backup, we can call for it.
Okay. Are you taking it to her right away?
Yeah, right after the room. Yep.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Yoth. This is not typical, but this is a strange case. So keep me updated on anything you find out. And if I hear anything from around here about it, I'll let you know.
Perfect. And if
Good
we
call.
get into a situation where we need some assistance, I will call you, and if you're able to help at that time, so much the better.
I'm sure you all won't get into any trouble.
And somewhere in that process, I found the worm or the tentacle kind of scooting down the hallway, and it was heading towards Imric. I will pick it up and get it quicker there as he's pulling out the item of interest for him. Like, and he's distracted. I kind of walk up behind him, like, "Oh, that looks great," and I'll just kind of drop it back in his pocket.
Hilarious. I'm gonna go for an immovable rod.
That's a good choice. It was my second.
Indispensable.
You never know when you'll need one.
Bar a door.
Such a great item.
Climb up somewhere you're not supposed to be able to get to. Yeah.
Well,
It was literally the option that I was looking at besides sending stone. So well.
now we got one. We got both.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more slot
It's just
for Jan.
Jan, right?
Yeah, I'm tossing up between Eldritch Claw Tattoo and the Decanter of Endless Water.
Mm-hmm.
Decanter could be good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, because it's non-lethal. Like, I mean, we can kind of knock someone over. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
non-lethal method. Does anybody have manacles?
I've got a net,
I'm
fishing net.
not sure if I do or not.
That's good. That'll work.
Yeah, I'll take
Got
the
50
decanter.
feet of rope.
Rope is fine.
All right. Perfect. So we are now well equipped, and you're here. You're in this room. You're kind of picking over the little knickknacks and talismans and weaponry, and everybody kind of finds something useful. And you can look around. What happens next? What do you do next?
I would propose to the group that we head to go and speak to the victim's sister.
Yes. Yeah, we should find out where she either where she lived or where she worked. Like yeah, definitely I'd say the first stop would be to talk to the sister.
Well, she works at the consortium, right? She's one of our.
No, you're
University.
sure at the
Yeah,
university.
I meant more specifically like investigate her office, but we'll
Yeah.
see how. That's my second choice after talking to the sister.
Oh, right.
Fair.
I get my school and my work mixed up. Sorry. Kind of doing
Is it intentional
work at
that-
both.
Is it intentional that they both have the title Elder? There's a scholar that works for the consortium that's Elder something or other, and then Lady Unitachi was Elder something or other, right? Or her.
You can
her-
roll history to see what you know
I
about
sure
that.
can. Let's do it.
Super smart.
Oh!
Oh shit!
Beautiful,
Hell yeah, bro.
beautiful. So, you've been
Super
living
smart.
here for a while, and you know that elders are people in the human community of Veshiko that are revered for their great age and their uh, contributions to society. So, I mean, you could be really old and like maybe like your family will call you elder or your, grandkids or something or your neighbors. Um, but you know that when elder becomes sort of a social tag, it means that like people that you don't know are addressing you as elder, or people that you are just meeting, you're introduced to as elder X, elder Y. It's sort of like you've done something of import, or you're a great contributor to the society. Young people will definitely, like you've got to be uh, an elder to be an elder, but it's
If it was
yeah. So for example, that Elder Ayin Ina, who works at the consortium as um, an arcane consultant, that he's probably old and he's probably done some discoveries in the arcane craft, and you would know that Elder Inyotisi is a poet, right? He's the one who made this, who filed this case, so you would assume that he's probably a well-known poet in the community and a human.
So if somebody has the title elder, they're a human.
Most likely, yeah.
From past experience working with Imrik and Yoth, if the two of them agree on a course of action, then he knows that's probably the most sound and reasonable thing to do, so he's deferring to their judgment.
Yeah.
Onward.
What about Ilmare? Any opposition to going to see sister?
None at all.
All right. So the sister's address comes with like oh, okay. So on your way out, to stop with Saprina, who gives you like a little packet. There's not a lot of information in it. For sure, you have one, the sister's address and her name, and two, you have Elder Inyotisi's address at the university. So you know where to find him as well.
Is there some seal or emblem that we carry as investigators that might grant us access to places that a centaur and a bugbear might not otherwise be welcomed with open arms?
I am a cop goblin, thank you very much.
It's Cop Goblin.
Sorry.
So there's a consortium pin that all members have. So there might be like a fancier one, I guess, if you're like a consultant, or like a member of the like an officer, like the president. But all of you have the investigator pin.
Yeah, I was just a little bit worried about being let into the older sister's residence. We might get stopped at the gate by the bouncers. Like, who are
Yeah,
these
I mean,
ruffians?
Here's the
So-
stay in stables.
folks, nobody here is like a native, right? Ilmare.
I am.
Ilmare, okay.
Jan was
um,
born here, but
Jan was born here. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jan and Ilmare, you would know that you might be stopped, not because you're a centaur or because you're a hobgoblin, but maybe just because you don't look rich.
That tracks. Classism. Fantastic.
Yeah.
so bearing that in mind, Jan will be.
Oh well, I guess Jan probably
bringing
doesn't
us
look that rich. So
No, Jan looks quite poor. He's wearing just like a little vest, fishing vest,
Aww.
and some belts and things around his waist
He's
to hold
practical.
fishing line and to hold his fishing rod, nets, and all his equipment and stuff. Saddlebags. Yeah, he dresses light because you get
Not
wet fishing,
saddlebags.
and lighter clothes dry faster. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Given what we just learned, Jan, are we bringing up the rear in any procession, keeping his poverty out of sight, and letting the more affluent members of the party take point here?
Well, Emmerich not rich, but it's not the first time he's just like waltzed into a chateau.
Yeah, a lot of it is just, how you kind of project yourself into the world.
As the B team.
Right. So,
How many investigative teams does the consortium have on payroll on any given time?
that is a good motherfucking question.
No, I don't need an answer right now. I mean, I just
I'm
sort of it
pondering.
might affect how we perceive ourselves in the larger organization.
Well, let's say at least 15 at the very least.
Okay.
But we are undoubtedly the best.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that. I love that.
The confidence.
It's beautiful. All right, so you go to Sabrina and you get the address for and Jan, you're not familiar with the upper city where it's a little bit. I mean, you come here to come to the consortium, but there's really not a lot for you up here if you're a poor. Elmare, you're more familiar with the the layout, and you're able to take a 15-20 minute walk to the or you could probably get there in 3 minutes if everyone pays for like a rickshaw or a there might be like an auto wagon. What do we call them?
Auto carriage.
Auto carriages, yeah, or an auto carriage. But you'll have to spend gold to get there faster.
How much gold are we talking?
Well, let's see. A rickshaw will probably just be a few copper per person, and a big enough auto carriage. Let's say it'll be a silver to get you there.
It's not too bad. And how far is the walk?
20-minute walk.
Oh,
On-
Ilmari's walking.
Okay.
If it's
I
not
mean-
like an hour, she's walking.
Ilmare, knowing the lay of the land, leads, and all of you make your way a little bit further north to the estate. Oh, wait. Also, it's raining.
Yeah.
Who's got umbrellas?
Do not.
Definitely not me. I'll pull my jacket up over my head.
Just everything smells like wet hobgoblin.
Love it.
That's musky.
Yum.
I love it.
I'm sure it
Mhm.
smells better than what the studio smelled like earlier today.
I believe that 100,000%. You know that if if you're like at the door of the consortium, you can probably ask Sabrina, and she'll probably give you an umbrella.
Oh, excellent.
Does anyone in the party look
Requisition
visibly,
that.
Sorry, does anyone in the party look visibly perturbed at the prospect of walking in the rain?
No.
Emmerich happens to think
I
he
look-
looks quite dashing with wet hair.
I look delighted.
Yeah, so this party is not really worried about walking in the rain, it seems. So, who's taking an umbrella from Sabrina?
Emmerich will take one, if only
Take
because
one.
he doesn't want his new weasel friend to get wet.
Oh,
Aww.
that's
I
very
will,
considerate.
I will definitely not even think about it until I sort of walk out into the rain and grumble and pull my jacket up and I see the rest of them walk out with umbrellas and I sort of turn and hurry back and be like, oh, can I have one too? It wouldn't even cross my mind.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd take one.
I'll not take one. Out in the rain.
Those without umbrellas become increasingly drenched as you make your way towards the estate where you're headed. You get there, and like most of the structures in the city, it's made of big chunks of stone, in with kind of like wooden trim. The ceiling, the roof is shingled and tiled. It looks very clean. There's kind of like vines and moss sprouting here and there, but it all seems very like carefully kind of curated and manicured, and there's like an iron gate with a guard. The guard is a kind of taller, kind of muscular human woman with long black hair and brown skin, and she kind of eyes you as you approach, but doesn't say anything.
Emmerich approaches the gate and he smiles up at her and he says, "Hello, darling. We're with the consortium. We are here to see Zuncho Chini about her sister."
She kind of grimaces when you say Darlin, and she says, "Present your pin."
And he like reaches around in his bag and he looks in there and he says, "Chico, what are you doing? No, give me that. No, thank you." And he pulls it out, presents it.
Very well. You may pass. The rest of you got pins? Present them before you enter.
One starts digging through his saddlebags.
Yeah, Emmerich's already like walking.
Ilmari just kind of like taps it. It's kind of like one of the button-looking things on her blouse.
Practical.
Around my neck on a chain, and I'll pull it out and hold it up, and I'll give the guard a big toothy, tusky smile on my way past.
She is unmoved to smile or be polite or kind.
That's
And
because she
Jan
doesn't
finds-
know what my charisma stat is yet.
Oh, mine's the best. It's
Does Yoth? I imagine Yoth is probably wearing his pin.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
I'm drenched, so when I walk up to the door, I'm probably getting a look like, "You're not coming in here." And I'll very quickly spellcraft prestidigitation, drying my clothes, and then just kind of like, almost like kind of like that as the water just flies
Yeah.
off of him, and then just walk in.
Jan finishes digging through his saddlebags and he finds his pin tangled up in fishing line and hooks.
Oh no.
It eventually pulls it out, and seeing Yoth removing the water from his body, Yoth, you probably hear it more than anything because Jan's behind you. But his trotting takes on a more like melodic sound.
Clip,
And-
clap, clip, clap.
Yeah, the water that's soaked him, including like his woolen beanie, is just absolutely drenched. Just runs off of him down onto the ground in like a little wave off to the side into the garden as he casts Shape Water.
Nice.
The guard, you clock a little bit of relief on the guard's face as you wet folks become dry. You pass through the gate, and you will get rained on a little more as you walk through the garden path, and it's like a beautiful, lush, lovely, curated, manicured garden of regional and imported flora with beautifully carved statues, and the kind of pebbled path leads you towards the large structure um, that is the home. And at the doorway you see is um, Lady Unatachi's sister, Shuun Choshini, who has her kind of like graying hair kind of piled up into this complicated and sort of slicked updo, like with lots of like coils and wrapped, and is wearing like a colorful long robe. She, despite being like kind of like impeccably dressed, clean, and kind of bejeweled, if any, okay, anyone, everyone is welcome to roll an insight.
So before entering, Emmerich would have like closed his
Let's go.
umbrella and kind of like shook off the water, and so now as they like continue, he's sort of using it like someone would use a cane. Let's see here. You said insight. There we go.
Why are we rolling 2 dice?
That is, it's kind of like the automatic way we handle
Advantage or disadvantage.
Advantage.
If
and
you have
disadvantage.
advantage or disadvantage.
Right.
So are we just using the first number every time?
We use the first number.
And if the DM wants to, they can say you fail something and you not understand why because they're granting you disadvantage, or would say you pass something because you have advantage that's not put forward to you.
There you go.
I do that sometimes.
Okay, so
18
I'm sorry.
18 insight.
Oh, there you go. So Artie and Emmerich, and I'm missing one. Do you want to roll one,
I do not.
John?
I'm not
Okay.
even like my character's probably just flippantly just waiting for him to be specifically addressed.
Okay. Artie and Emmerich, you like see this, kind of beautifully shellacked older woman, and you are able to clock underneath that facade deep worry and concern. So if you're just looking on the surface, you're like, oh, this kind of like stone cold bitch, but you two particularly see the worry and the concern. Emmerich, you are all kind of like invited in. She goes, all of you, come in. But you said you wanted to do something before you go through.
Oh yeah, like basically before coming in, he closes his umbrella, shakes all the water off.
Okay.
And now that his umbrella's collapsed, he's using it like sort of like a cane, like the point towards the floor, and he's sort of like walking it along with him.
Okay. Yeah, she you notice she turns and she lets you all into this sitting room. There's enough seating for everybody. She looks a little bit concerned about where we're gonna put this centaur, but you see her call for like service, and a couple of servants come in and bring in kind of like big pillows so that this Yan can rest, sit if he wants to. She takes a seat. Well, I imagine all of you are here from to help with my sister's case.
Correct.
Yes, and please rest assured, we will get to the bottom of this.
That's definitely what we are hoping for and paying for. what what now?
Well,
Well, we have a series of
first off,
questions.
She sees this like this like hobgoblin is like talking. These two kind of wizardy, sorcery, warlocky types are talking, and she's like, okay. Um, she looks dubious.
I'll kind of look to the others, waiting for them to proceed if they wish.
Start
Was
like feeling around for like a notepad and a quill or whatever passes for that, and a pencil. And when I clearly can't find one because I'm not that kind of person, I'll like tap somebody on the shoulder, whoever I'm sitting next to. Do you have anything to write with?
Emmerich like pretty much already has it in his hand. He's like, oh, yes. You'll see he has like sort of like a shaved stick of charcoal that's like wrapped in like layers of like paper.
I'll kind of look at them both and I'll say, "It's okay. I'm recording."
Fascinating.
Oh,
Well,
Spooky.
we're curious. Has your sister been residing here?
no, my sister lives at the university. She is against, all decorum and against um, common sense. She chooses to live at the university. It's more convenient, she says, for getting to her
Hmm.
lectures or working on her
library.
research. The library, indeed.
And
How often do you
what-
see her?
We see her at least once a week, thankfully. She is usually here on Day of Dan for dinner. Our extended family often visits, and we serve a weekly dinner. Sometimes she'll take a week off if she has, and she looks kind of like, makes like a face, if she has other plans.
Other plans?
Yes. She. It's how do I explain this to you? She has multiple paramours. And often, not too often, she will miss our dinner, our family dinner, to enjoy time carousing or whatever such people do.
If your sister, if you only see her like once a week, you saw her on Dan, and then she left. When did you realize that she had gone missing?
Her her dear friend, or friend of the family, Lord Inyotisi, or I'm sorry, Elder Inyotisi, he is very good friends with her, and not her paramour, thank the gods. uh, is he sees her frequently at the university, bumps into her, and he said he hadn't seen her for days. That is very, very concerning. Um, Unatachi would not miss class. In UTC asked around. She hasn't been to any of her classes, to lecture at any of the classes, and she hasn't been seen at the university as far as we can tell. Not since the day of Fur, um, when she had her last lecture. The day before I last saw her here.
So 7 days ago she was seen on campus. 6 days ago she was seen here. Nobody has seen her since that you've talked to?
That's right.
Sounds good.
I don't know that good's the word.
We were informed that she was inquiring regarding dwarvish matters, as there are a number of, as I understand it, places within side of the city that have not fully been explored. Do you think that she may have gone on some sort of expedition or something to that effect?
My sister, uh, number one, I really don't know anything about her work. I find it very, I've found it very boring. So I have to admit, I don't pay attention to anything she says, but about expeditions, she's a bookworm. I cannot imagine that she would be traipsing around in a dungeon somewhere.
I feel it's um, understandable, and that's a good sense of what I figured was the case. Um, but
But she also has no sense, so
you really didn't have to. Well, continuing, really don't have to insult her when she's not here to defend herself. But absolutely fine, I suppose, if that's what you wish to do in front of company.
you notice she kind of like recoils at that. She's not used to being corrected, contradicted, or critiqued,
I got that
um,
sense.
but she doesn't respond. Um, you get a little bit of a I'll be speaking to your manager later kind of eye.
Bring.
Um, in any case,
So,
I
Well,
have to
go
show
on.
you something before you continue. I probably should have shown this to you right away, but it bothers me a lot to even think about it. And something about this seems very, very wrong. She produces an envelope from her like from her robe, and she holds it forward to Emmerich.
he takes it and kind of like turns it over in his hand, looks at it back in front. Is it open?
It's unsealed. It's open.
Okay.
It has Shun Choshini's name on the front.
Hmm.
And if you look inside, you find this scribbled note. The note says, "I'm so sorry for bringing so much shame. I'm overcome with despair. I'm leaving. I won't be returning. Please go on without me. Unatachi."
Hmm. Um, he Emmerich takes a moment to like kind of examine the handwriting. Does it look like it is like rushed, or does it look elegant?
It does look rushed.
Does it strike him as a woman's handwriting?
Um, if you want to kind of analyze it, you can roll um investigation.
Got a
Decent.
22.
Okay. I will Okay, so with that, actually, that's perfect. That's a great roll. You are able to detect through your analysis of this script that it like stinks to you. Like you think this is probably a forgery.
Right. Yeah, that's what he was trying to see. He says, interesting. Um, you wouldn't happen to have any other samples of your sister's handwriting available, would you? Or you know what? We are. I imagine we're planning on paying the university a visit, and we'll probably be in her office or her, her lecture hall at some point later. I'm sure there are many samples there.
Yes, I'm sure you can find my sister's writing at the university. What troubles me is that it looks very much like her handwriting. I know my sister's handwriting, and this looks like it very much looks like her handwriting, but it's wrong. My sister would never write something like this.
Hmm.
That woman has no shame.
Hmm. Well,
And she kind of gives an eye at Yoth, like, you're gonna pop off again, kid. You're muted, John.
um,
Sorry, if she does give me that look, the only response she gets is just a coy smirk.
Hmm.
Emmerich will place it in his pocket, but notably a like not in his satchel with Chico.
Not the weasel pocket.
Yeah, he definitely
Okay.
wants to keep this safe. Um,
Okay.
actually, for like a little bit of extra added protection, he'll like fold it inside of his like notebook. And he says, "Well, thank you. This should certainly prove to be very helpful. And of course, we shall keep you informed of any leads we might find or any developments that occur."
Before you go, um, I think you should probably be aware that, like I said, um, Unatachi had several paramours.
Yeah, that's something that Jan has been wanting to bring up, but has been waiting for a gap in the conversation to ask about. Um, Looking over at him, he's basking in the uncommon comfort of the cushions. He's lounging like one of those French girls.
Hmm.
But as he goes to ask the question, he straightens himself up, pulls his beanie off. Begging your pardon, madam, these paramours that you mentioned, is this a frequently changing list or is she fairly consistent? Like, do we have names that we could investigate or?
Yes, there's three that I know of. She has brought them individually to dinner. And, it's not that I am a prude. I just don't understand. I don't understand my sister. Anyway, okay, yes. This isn't about that. There are
You
three that I
would
know
just
of.
name.
Yes, the names. There is a student at the university. I know that his name is Kinye. Uh,
Scandalous.
what?
Oh, sorry.
I know that his name is Kinye. He is, of course, a poet. Um, not a well known or renowned poet by any means. Um, he was, at the very least, a very nice. Uh, he was very nice. Uh, you, I'm sure, will be able to find him easily at the university. He has Goliath ancestry and easily towers above the majority of the students. I'm sure that Elder Inyotisi will probably know him, as they are um, they study and teach in the same college the of poets. Um, I know there was a very impressive uh, young priestess, Okoyuku. I don't know where she lives, but she was a beautiful priestess, um, and she serves at the cathedral of. Oh wait, what's the term? She serves at the cathedral of the Cosmic Coatl. Um, I don't know her schedule or anything more about her other than her name and where she serves. There are another two, and she looks like exasperated, like all of these fucking people to keep track of. I don't know their names. Uh, but or who or and much about them, I really don't. I can't track, all of her many paramours, but I know about those two at least.
And how long has she been associating with Kinye and Okuyuku,
Oh,
roughly?
Kinye maybe about a year, and Okuyuku very recently, maybe in the last month or so.
You knew nothing about the pair at all. They come to dinner here. You didn't catch their names, species,
They will.
habit of dress, anything.
Well, she thinks back. Um, the other one that she has brought to, um, dinner maybe more than a year ago was um, a very masculine woman, possibly a half elf, dark hair. I don't I don't recall her name.
Begging your pardon once more, thinking back to the night of the dinner, did she seem out of sorts at all? Did she seem like her usual self? Does anything stand out in your memory?
She You see her kind of like the wheels kind of turning as she's trying to recall. Oh, it's been I feel so terribly guilty.
Take your time.
I never I never I never pay her the mind that she deserves. I never listened to her, and that night was really just more of the same. She seemed happy and excited to go back to work. That, at least, I can remember. She was eager to return to her poring over symbols and runes and sigils that she does. I remember that. She didn't seem, as far as I can remember, upset or frightened or worried. I hope I
Was
didn't miss
her
something.
excitement related to any breakthroughs in her research?
I couldn't tell you. I I pressured her so much, and our conversation, I'm ashamed to say, was more about me wanting her to settle with a partner and make an honorable and beneficial pairing. It's too
You
bad.
said she was excited to get back to work. Did she leave partway through the dinner, or did she stay until the end?
She stayed normally till the end. It was a
She le-
very typical dinner.
Did she leave alone, or did she?
Yes, she was not here with a friend. She left alone.
And yeah, now thinking, or Jan thinking about how things can be a little rough, Wolfside, and not having spent much time up here in the wealthier districts, and it's safe for a woman to walk alone between here and the university normally.
Oh, yes, typically I wouldn't have any worries about her safety, or I would have sent an escort with her. She, like many scholars, enjoys her solitude.
Was there anyone else present at the dinner that we might speak to?
Well, it was myself and two aunts that are not in town anymore. They have returned to the village where they reside.
Any servants outside of the house would have seen her leave? Guards,
Uh,
chauffeurs, valets.
yes, the guard that let you in would have seen her leave.
And just for professionalism, what's that guard's name?
The guard's name is uh, Xena.
You gonna get beat up on purpose?
What a great name.
You know what? I was
Hell yeah.
like going through the Rolodex in my head, and it's
Hell yeah,
motherfucking
it-
Mesoamerican Lucy Lawless. So
I love
there you go.
her.
My Paul Blart is gonna go hit on Xena Warrior Princess.
How
Oh, God.
fucking dare
You
you?
just reshaped
Um,
that hobgoblin in my eyes.
I'm pretty sure this is illegal, but
with
okay.
2 words.
Yeah.
Paul Blart.
Oh, Bart.
I know.
Imagine was the case is no
Oh,
longer.
Nayland hates it.
He's not.
Oh,
a
you
fan
thought
of
I
that
was
control.
joking when Chad shared that screenshot, and I was like, "Oh, yep, nope, that's me. That's ochre red with tusks. That's the guy."
It is a hell of a vibe.
Nayland said all cops are hobgoblins.
I don't know if he would have said that.
Okay.
You're streaming this, right, John?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. I'm watching it.
We have a permanent record.
Demonetize.
All cops are bastards. That we can say.
Oh.
Hobgoblins.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
No. I'm like,
Demonetized.
Does that get us?
Oh.
Is that a bad thing?
it's like I
stream.
stream one time, I run a game one time, and it gets everything shut down because of 8 cabs. No. Okay.
It's casual.
I think we're okay.
We're okay.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. We're here. We'll see how this
This is just pretend. This is D&D.
Yeah. All cops in D&D are bastards plus Minecraft.
or hobgoblins. All right. So, any other questions for the sister?
I'm bored with her already. I was bored with her from pretty early in the onset. But I listened to everything.
What a good guy.
Well, if there's no other questions, please talk to Xena and see if there's any more information that she can give you. She kind of comes to the doorway and calls down the garden. Xena, please cooperate with any questions that the investigators have of you.
I don't know about
All
any
right,
questions,
lady.
but
Go ahead.
Oh, I said I don't know about any questions, but most of them maybe.
Any questions that relate to the investigation?
Yeah,
Right.
bad.
You free Saturday?
Don't answer that.
Yeah, Jan's got no further questions, so he's gonna start getting up and getting ready to wander out towards Xena.
Imric, did you just ask
No,
this?
that was not in
Oh, okay.
character.
Oh, okay. I was like,
He was
what?
giving an example of
Oh, of like terrible questions. Okay.
yeah, of
Um,
questions for her not to answer.
got it. Okay.
Unless
So,
she wants to, but probably not.
she looks perturbed and escorts all of you to the doorway.
As we're about to part company with her permanently, I am going to telepathically enter into her mind, and I will say, your sister's goals and avenues of exploration and study may seem boring to you, but I assure you the mysteries that she'll uncover are wonders. And I'll kind of give her the coy smirk again as I head out.
What a little prick.
Oh my God, that is super creepy. You see, her eyebrow twitch. She's been around spellcasters. She knows the type of fuckery that spellcasters can get up to. So she's not like, "Ah," but she's like definitely looks like a little bit disgusted
Like, oh, you're that type.
that you were in her head.
Oh,
And
I mean, it was just like I was talking to her. I didn't
no, I
actually,
know, but
yeah.
it's like a telepathic
Still.
talk.
I thought about asking her if she'd be willing to submit herself to a spell detecting thoughts on her, then extracting her memories with encode thoughts, but I thought that was probably a little too much on a first meet.
Maybe.
Yeah,
For
that's
the
a second
second
date kind
meet.
of activity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Second
it's
basis
giving
encode
second
thought
date.
pulls.
Yeah. So at that, she doesn't like the niceties close.
We leave.
She turns away, shuts the door. She doesn't even go like, "Oh, goodbye, everybody." Okay, yeah. No, she's like, "Fuck this."
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you
Why the
guys.
fuck am I paying you?
And shuts
Those
the door.
meddling kids.
And you approach the guard. Any questions for the guard?
Oh, Emmerich
Besides
just
when I'm
like
free.
he's sort of he's got the umbrella in one hand and he's sort of just like stroking his beard with the other. And he just kind of like walks on by like Xena's not even there.
Mm,
He's just like thinking to himself.
okay.
Jan's just going to reiterate a couple of the questions, like asking if Lady Onatachi seemed like herself that night. Did the guard keep an eye on her or did Xena, sorry, keep an eye on her as she walked away? Did she meet anyone in the street as she was leaving?
Lady Unatachi was distracted and she usually is distracted, mind you. She's not it's not that she's unserious, but scholars, they have their flights of fancy. She seemed to be in a good mood. I wish there was more I wish I knew more, or I could give you more. It was a night like any other, a dance day like any other. She walked down the road towards the university district. I lost sight of her when she kind of faded into the fog, like any other day of Dan.
And she
Thank you,
usually
Pete.
comes alone.
Oh, typically, sometimes she'll bring
A friend.
a friend.
Well,
Yeah, thanks for your time. You've been very helpful.
yeah.
she gives a little bit of courtesy with a little nod, and then kind of goes back to like, huh, you know,
Hmm.
being serious, guard mode.
Mm-hmm. Respect that.
You're all of you
Uh.
standing in the street, in the rain.
Onto the guard.
That was the guard.
Emmerich,
Oh, that was boring. I thought that was the front door guy again, but
To the
no.
university?
yeah. If
Did we get our office number?
We
We
can
did.
We got the address.
Oh,
at
the address.
consortium.
so, Emmerich thinks we have like quite a number of leads, and it might be beneficial for us to spread out or like split up and cover more ground. But that's just his opinion. If everybody else would rather stick together, that's fine.
Well, we could explore different parts of the university.
That's true. It probably is a pretty expansive campus.
I don't know how big her office is, but I'm sure it's not that big.
Man,
I don't
I
expect
wish
to be
Arcana
jumped by
Domain.
co-eds, but I don't want to split up.
Oh, Emmerich's not afraid of a poet.
They're pretty scary, though.
They are prone to flights of romantic passion,
And stalking.
but are
What?
yes.
On the matter of splitting the party, Yarn sort of looks towards Yoth to get his take on things.
He seems to just be kind of like mentally on his own, not really paying attention too much to the rest of the group. And as like you kind of look to him, he kind of like seems to kind of react as if someone was kind of understanding that they're being drawn back into the discourse, and just kind of, if that's what you want, that's fine. Kind of to the group, concerned, not really thinking about much of what's going on. He already has a plan in his head, and so whichever group goes towards the school, that's kind of where he wants to go.
Well, I certainly think we should start with the university. It seems that's where she spent most of her time, and that seems to be the place she was most heavily invested in.
Yeah, I agree. The university seems like the best course of action. We can check out her
I mean,
office.
where
We can
else would
talk
we
to.
start? It makes sense.
Right, you've got a 40-minute walk to the university.
Oh,
You really want us to take the rickshaw, don't you?
No, I'm just. You are more than welcome to walk.
Totally
You
fine.
can.
yes. Well, I mean, I don't mind a refreshing walk in the rain, but I suppose if anybody wanted to flag down an auto carriage, we could perhaps charge the fare to the consortium. Just a suggestion.
It's not that much. What, a couple gold?
To one of your station, maybe, but for the one such
Well,
as
it's
myself.
a lot of money, right?
Is it? He kind of just passively stares skyward.
What is the price of a banana?
What, $10?
Yeah.
Make eye contact with Jan, like, "Meh."
Yeah, I'm giving you a similar look back. Like, no, I'm walking. If I have the option, I'm walking.
Yeah, Yoth seems to be fine when like the group goes to walk. It's not like he's concerning himself. I'm assuming the rain's cold, right? It's not like very
Yeah.
comfortable. Yoth seems to be unconcerned. Like it's not even a bother to him.
It's with the end of summer, right? So it's still, I mean, it's not frigid out. It's not winter yet.
It's not a frigid
Beginning of
rain.
fall.
Yeah, it's not a frigid rain. But it's not like tropical, right? like steamy rain or anything.
Not muggy.
Right.
It's like a nice light summer rain.
It's not that light.
Sounds fucking delightful. We should walk.
It's raining enough to where you're getting soaked. But okay, so you're going on your walk. Um, it's a nondescript 40 minutes. It is now probably around 11:15 as you make your way to the university campus. It is framed by beautiful gardens. Here the buildings are maybe a little bit taller, more arched, more pointed. There's the similar kind of like orange shingles on the roofs, um, and you see various various rows of buildings, and you have the address for Elder Inotisi's office, and you're here at the entrance to the university. There's a lot of students milling about. The students here are probably a majority human, but there's the occasional half elf, half orc, or you know, uh, not a ton of like the long-lived elves. Like they're not studying here.
Yeah.
Um, dwarves not really studying here. You see some halflings, gnomes, um, and
Is there a bard somewhere playing Wonderwall?
there's
Probably.
definitely a couple. Well, it's raining, so there's no one's like playing frisbee and playing Wonderwall. Um,
Uh, sorry, Wonderwall.
it's what we call your cat.
Yeah, a wonder
So-
wall of blocking.
As we approach the university, Yarn is going to be really taking in the sights and sounds. This is the first time he's really had a reason to go in. And he's paying really close attention to the people, how they interact with one another. He's looking around for like enrollment pamphlets. He's like the
Cute.
freshman, well, not even the freshman, what is it, the orientation day? He's like a high school leaver on orientation day,
Mm,
like
There
really
you go.
looking at
This
everything.
tour kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see students like huddling together, like a pair huddling together on an umbrella, like kind of like tapping their way like out from one building to another. You notice that there's kind of like one central building that looks like like an administrative center, and there's kind of like the building kind of like hangs over a little bit, and there's columns, so you can kind of get out of the rain without stepping into the building itself. There's some human students kind of sitting around like a stone table chit-chatting.
Cute.
And looking at the economic status of the students, is this mostly like well-dressed, well-to-do kind of students, or is there a bit of a mix?
There's probably like you're definitely not seeing any like there's nobody impoverished on this campus except for you maybe, and there's
Fair.
you notice that the students are all dressed neatly. A few of them seem to be wearing a little bit more like gold and silver, or like stylishly embroidered clothes, and some maybe are looking a little more plain.
Does it look like there's like a uniform, like a school uniform?
There's no uniform.
Okay. So Emmerich is he's kind of taken in the sights, but he's not like terribly impressed by anything he sees. He's like, none of these people look like they're capable of like summoning a demon or communicating with like, something from the far realm. He's like, yeah, it's all pretty vanilla. And then he's kind of beelining straight for the elder's office. But he's not really interested in talking with him. He's more interested in getting access to Unitachi's office. Like, he wants to start being super nosy.
Okay. Well, step one. Okay, step one is connecting with InyoTC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just sort of being like, hey, we're with the consortium. That's, we're here to look into Unitachi's disappearance. I'll be around if you need me. And then he's gonna like kind of dip out.
Zoom.
If everybody else wants to hang out and talk to him, that's totally fine.
There's so you're here, you're all standing outside of the main entrance of this building. And you have the address written down, but none of you, maybe Ilome, not Ilome, Ilmare, sorry, Ilmare, you maybe have been here, likely have been here before.
Yeah, probably a
Okay.
time or two.
All right, so you would probably know like how to navigate the buildings, and you would be able to find the right one.
Yeah, unless there have been like any updates within like a couple of years, maybe.
Probably not. Probably not. It's not like today where it's not like today. I'm like comparing it to
Like real
oh,
life.
this happened a long time ago. Anyway, so I guess probably in this setting, like they could easily make changes, but probably not. There's like this ageless tradition, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like Knock, right? Like where everything's made out of mushroom. It's like this is stone, so it might take more time to do construction.
Stone shape.
You could stone shape, sure. Okay. So you make your way to like the Poets College. There's definitely a bard playing Wonderwall in the like common area, or whatever passes for Wonderwall in the world of Urs.
He is me and I am him.
There you go. And there's like a couple of like admirers kind of like checking out the music. The inside of this common area is comfy. There's upholstered seating, and then a couple of hallways that go out on either side from this entrance. You swerve and find InyoTC's corner office on the first floor. The door is open.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
But he's in there.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Head on it, I suppose. Or knock first.
Sure. You pop your
Door
head
frame.
and knock on the frame. InyoTC looks up. You notice that for someone named Elder, he doesn't look that old. Probably very late 50s, very early 60s. He's not, looking like lined and wizened and drooping like a lot of the elders you may have met. Oh,
You're saying that he doesn't go outside and do manual labor.
I wasn't, but yes, he doesn't.
Hey,
So
he
you-
does.
man after my own heart.
Yeah, right. It's just John. It's John.
It's just
Sean.
John.
It's an insert character.
It's John in like 10,
In 10
to
years,
20
right?
years.
10, 20 years, right?
I'm leaving.
Shisho specifically
For poets.
said
10 years?
Probably
You said
about-
10 years?
I don't know your
50 to
age.
60.
I don't know
It's
age.
probably correct. Ah.
Shut up.
it is. You just turned 40. You're a young man.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. Have you ever met the Mormons?
Wait, what? What
When
is
you-
the relevance?
When you go
Oh, well,
on,
I had a couple stop by the other day, and they had to have been like very early 20s, and they were both.
Oh.
No,
okay,
it's
yeah.
probably like 18 to like, yeah, 21 at most.
Yeah.
Missionaries are very
That's
young.
yeah, that's when
typically.
they do
They
their
have to
missionary
do it young.
practice.
It's part of their internships.
Yeah,
Right.
because like they can't get married until they finish the
That's
the
wild.
mission. Yeah. It's a lot. I know way too much about Mormons. I'm sorry. I
Me
had
too.
a couple of Mormon friends in high school. But yeah, they're all elders, technically.
And they're elders. Oh, elders! Oh, that's okay. You know
Now the
what?
penny drops.
Now I'm piecing it all together. Okay.
Right.
Hello, my name is
Wow.
Elder Price.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
Sorry.
That's
Back-
copyrighted.
Putting everything
I
back
did it. It was
back in the-
less than 5
less
seconds.
than 5 seconds.
Fair,
Yes.
fine.
Okay. So
We're doing a remix.
a 6-year-old Jonathan Andrew Dupree looks up, but also like a Mesoamerican version. That's something I want to see. Is that? I don't know. Okay, wait. This is
The problem.
this is
This
going
is
to
getting
fan
too
meta.
fiction territory.
The problem
and
with
brown
that-
face. I know.
Yeah. If I no.
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 Nope.
No.
Okay. So anyway, moving on. He looks up and he says, "Oh, you're from you're investigating, right?"
Yeah.
Jan's back digging in his
John's
saddlebags
correct.
looking for his pin.
Yeah. Emmerich like
Uh,
just flashes his pin. He says, yes, indeed.
Put that away, please. No, come in. There's not a whole lot of room in the office. Like there's a couple of chairs, like there's the desk, there's a couple of chairs, and everything else is just crammed with books, stacks of books. He's got a bunch of like open texts on his desk. And he has long kind of graying hair down to like the half of his back, mid back. He looks well groomed, but wearing kind of a plain scholar's outfit. And he kind of ushers everybody in. Probably the Hobgoblin and Centaur may need to kind of be at the door. It's getting a little crowded.
Now I know that this is not future John because there was a bunch of books in there because John doesn't read.
Wow.
This character
He's
is well groomed.
admitted it.
I know, but just like
I get it. No, I got it. Yeah, run a game in my campaign setting, roast me throughout. I get it. That's fine. I get it. Totally chill. It's not the first time this has happened.
well, there you go. It's tradition.
Looking over at Dieter and Chad.
Renaming the
What can I
day of
do?
Dan to the day of John, so we can have John roast.
Oh.
the last day, so they'll make it a 7-day. Dan for
Okay.
It's just New Year's Day.
Well, I'm happy to share whatever information you need. I'm really worried about Unatachi. I haven't seen her probably since the 23rd. So yeah, I'm worried about her. I'm glad to cooperate and give you whatever you need or whatever I
Well,
can. Yeah.
let's not waste any time. Where is her
Okay.
office?
Oh, yes, her office will be a couple of buildings over. Here's the number and here's the name of the building. And he hands you the paper with like
Yeah, he literally
address
like reaches
on it.
through the crowd of people and then just like snatches out of his hand and says, "Thank you." And then he just like disappears around the corner.
Okay, perfect. So
He's
you
gone.
move out of the room and off to explore that office. Is anybody running with Emmerich?
I'll go.
Seeing that no one,
No, I won't go.
seeing that no one else is making any immediate obvious moves, Jan will go and keep him company. So we're not at least going off alone.
Okay, Jan will escort.
Oh,
just in
excellent.
case you're attacked by a poet or something.
Every so
Thank you,
often,
Jan.
on occasion, I will pop into his eyesight, which to
Oh,
Emmerich
right.
will not seem like anything is happening. But to Jan, you'll occasionally see his eyes start glowing blue, like my eyes glowed when I
God
cast
damn
Detect
it.
Magic.
Okay, so Jan and Imric, yeah, exactly. Move out of the room. Do the rest of you have um anything you would like to ask of
um,
TC?
so I guess we didn't really ask. Like, she has her own offices. She teaches,
Mhm.
and she has. I'm assuming a specific classroom that she remains in. Um, I'm assuming with like a lecture hall and the like.
Oh,
Or no?
yes. Well, Unatachi is the way that we do the classes here. The lecture will move from hall to hall. So depending on the schedule, she has an office, and then directly kind of in the back of the office is her dormitory area.
Got it.
Um, that's where she normally does most of her work.
Okay. And that's where they just
Gone
went
in
off
there
to.
recently?
Mhm.
So,
Has anyone gone in there recently just to make sure?
Um, oh God dang it. Okay, I forgot. To give your colleague the key. Um, and he'll produce the key. I
Well,
have a
I guess
key.
it's a good thing he's got these tools.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll if somebody wants to run him the key really quick, he's probably hasn't gone too far. Or he'll come back. Does anyone volunteer to take Emmerich the key? That's cold. Okay.
I
I'll
guess
do
I
it.
could. Yeah.
No, you don't. Artie would Artie do it?
I'm
Artie probably
I'm
would.
quite useless at the actual investigating part, so I'm happy to be the runner.
The courier. Okay, so he'll place the key in Artie's hands, and Artie will run off
why
to
does this
deliver it.
cat?
So we'll take a beat.
Way!
We'll say that Artie, you catch up to them, you deliver the key, and do you want to come back or are you going to stay with them?
It sort of depends. I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit of a looky-loo and check inside the office before I make a decision.
Okay, great. Well, no. So now you're with them. Now you're part of the office crew. So you're going to the office. Back to Inyo TC's space. I've got Yoth in there, and I've got not Erlome. Oh my God,
I love that you
Ilmare.
keep combining
She's in the library
them.
mainlining double shot macchiatos and reading.
What?
Ptolemy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Turlome. Well, then there's also an Erlome, isn't there?
Huh?
Erlome? Is there an Erlome? No,
No.
that's Turlome. Turlome. Okay.
Terlome.
And
You're
Ilmare.
combining Ilmare.
I'm
Terlome. I think
combining
it's
all of, I
cute.
know, this is like elf racism. It's like not all elf names are the same.
They're not
Anti,
even the same elf
anti-elf.
subrace.
I know, oh shit, they're not even the same elf subrace. Wow.
Anti-elf bigotry.
That's fucked up. Okay. So,
How dare you?
so
And we're
it's,
canceled.
we're canceled. It's Ilmare and it's Yoth, and you're in there with Inyo TC.
Oh, it's grandma and baby teenage grandson.
Grandma and grandson. Um,
Confirmed
he-
Shisho hates Faye and
What?
only likes the centaur cause part horse.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, I've been
she
bullying the
chose
centaur a little
horse
bit.
girl.
No.
No, actually,
No.
sorry. But,
No, no. No. That's not part of the narrative here.
You're right. You were pretty cold to the. To
I was
the
pretty
centaur.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Poor ass.
Okay. So, Inyo TC is looking between like his eyes like shift from Yoth to Ilmare and then back again. Okay. Yes. How can I help you?
So, I suppose the matter I would like to further investigate. She was specifically focusing on a line of study, according to what we were told, regarding dwarves. Do you know?
Yes. So I don't know that much about her line of work, but she we would often talk, and she really had a what her focus seemed to be is investigating the dwarven ruins um in the northernmost section of uh of the city, uh, almost to the hills, like really at the foothills nearly. There's like some abandoned, like there were some estates that were abandoned, and so she would take material that had been recovered by, um, I don't know, some archaeological team, and she would try to decipher the symbology of it, the historical significance. I couldn't tell you exactly what those significances are or were. Here, I'll tell you what. Um, Unatachi's faculty chair is a fairy named Asifa Sumarudi. Um, she probably can, if you're curious about what she was studying, maybe Asifa could give you a little bit more information. Um, she is in the same building with where they're going right now to look at the
Of course. Um, and this Usafa would be the most direct source to get information about her
yes,
lines of
absolutely.
inquiry. Okay, well, perfect then. Thank you so much for your time. And getting up, I'll kind of stop at the door and then switch into the other people's side and stay there for a bit if it's interesting. And then
Great.
listen
So
and
like
whatnot.
cinematically, we're like zooming in on your eyeballs and then zooming out um of Emmerich's.
Cute.
So the three of you are making your way, you get to the office, I'm assuming you put in the key, turn it, go inside. Um you don't have to roll for traps. There's no traps. It's a cluttered scholar's office. There's stacks of books, of course. There is a cluttered desk. Um, and there is like shelves and like a ladder up to like the top layer of like the top uh, row of books. There's a small window. Um, it's not letting in a lot of natural light right now. It's kind of cloudy and rainy. But you hear the sound of the rain hitting the window. There's a couple of like um, little like crunch, not yeah, little crunchy plants that haven't been watered in a while. Um, and as you step in, whoever is stepping into the space can roll perception.
Um, my passive perception is 18. I'm not sure if that matters.
Okay, go ahead and roll anyway. That does matter.
Sad face 9.
26.
Beautiful. So, Artie and Jan are like herpaderping their way in, and they're like, "Here we are. We investigate. We perceive." But Emmerich, your like sharp eye immediately goes to this this like rectangular sheet of like um of paper that has been placed like squarely on top of like a bunch of other papers that are like kind of um haphazardly just kind of been left.
Um, yeah, so like he steps into the room and then immediately does like one of these where he like looks around the whole room and then like focuses his
Ding.
attention on that piece of
Yeah.
paper, and so he walks over and kind of stands over it so he
I
can
mean,
get a
with
better
that
look at it.
26, you can kind of tell like, okay, it's weird that it's like exactly centered on top. Like that's odd.
Um, and this is just like my intuition here, but I'm gonna go ahead and say he suspects that she didn't put that there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you, the player, and Imric, the character, could very easily assume that and kind of
Um,
detect that.
So yeah, he walks over and he kind of takes a look at this. Um,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a stub or like a proof of payment, a receipt, uh, for uh a for a business. You see the title of the business is Clover Secure Travel. It has an address. Um, and it shows that somebody paid 50 gold for a and it's so the line item is secure travel.
50 gold. Is there a date?
Yeah, the date is the 25th.
Okay, dated. And what day was it that she went missing?
She was last seen by her sister and family on the 24th.
Ah, fascinating. And is it handwritten? Like, is there
Um,
like a signature?
it's like stamped. So like it has a stamp that's like the name of, did I say the name of the place?
Yeah,
No.
Clover
Clovers?
Secure
Oh, Clover
Travel.
Secure Travel. Yeah. So you see the name and the address are stamped, and then you see that there's like lines printed, and then there's like a stamp of like secure secure travel is stamped, 50 gold is stamped, and then there's a stamp that says paid.
Fascinating. He picks it up just to like take one last like much closer look at it.
Mhm.
And he pulls out his notebook and he like opens it to the page where he's like the letter slotted in.
Mhm.
And then he like sticks the receipt in there with like next to the letter. Um, and then once that's off the table, he kind of like looks at everything else that's kind of scattered around to try and get a sense of like what she was most recently working on.
Sure. You can all three of you, if you like, can roll investigation checks, or you can help one another if that seems more reasonable.
I would like to roll, but I would
Okay.
also like to mention that I've got a passive investigation of 19.
Hell yeah, Jesus!
I'm gonna
Well,
lend aid with the help action. Maybe I find something while tidying up the plants.
I want to confirm something because two guys have mentioned it. I just want to make sure. Passive perception is not a replacement for a perception. Passive perception is if you're not actively doing something, investigation as well. If you're not actively doing something, you spot something that would not normally be seen. It's typically a measure for contesting against stealth or sleight of hand to hide things.
Okay, that's a good distinction. Thank you. Okay, so with these rolls, they're beautiful. Jan and Emmerich, the two of you, and kind of move through the space, upturning books, opening up drawers, and you um, find a folder uh, that is that's marked research proposal and updates, and you find that there is a, let me see, one moment. You find that there is a proposal in there, and it's kind of like divided. There's like the section that says proposal gives okay, wait. There's a section that says proposal, then you open to the other section, and the clips that were meant to keep in the section that says updates are all open, and there's no updates.
Fascinating.
As you open that up, Yoth and Ilmare step up to the space.
Oh,
Yes.
hello.
Did you find anything yet?
Oh, it's well,
We've saved these
quite a bit of
plants.
breeding material.
So Imric is like, well, yeah, we found, and then Artie's like, look at these plants, and everyone's attention immediately is like on these like kind of fucked up looking plants, and he's like watering them.
Can I roll nature to see how long it's been since they've been watered prior to Artie and
Fuck
his
yeah.
arrival?
That's good role playing.
Absolutely.
That's a much better thing than what I was
Yeah,
doing.
that is.
Yes.
Screw it
Great.
around.
Yes.
It's worth mentioning that I'm not proficient in nature. So this is just the
Um,
layman's guess.
Well,
Look, I
okay.
brought a
Oh.
weasel to the party.
I just arrived, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a bit about nature. I can make a nature check.
Well, let's do this. How about if Jan is like, hey, I wonder how long it's been since these plants were watered. Yoth can roll with advantage.
Okay. Not very great.
You know it's been at most a month.
Oh, she was not a good plant mom.
Yoth kind of like crosses the arms, but kind of like puts the hand on the chin, kind of nodding sagely as Jan was like inquiring about it, and
The
basically
end of summer, they don't need to be watered that frequently.
gives the vaguest possible answer that basically belies the amount of gap temporally that we're looking at.
They've been watered at some point.
They were watered.
Poor woman killed a cactus.
They were watered and then they weren't watered.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Yoth, so smart.
Yes. I mean, smarter than me.
Nod sagely.
Imric, do you want to share about the two pieces of information that, well, you found the slip, right? The receipt.
Right, the receipt and the
then you and Jan together found the folder.
I did have one question about the folder.
Okay.
So the update section is missing, but what is everything else related to?
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
that's
open up.
what Jan's interested in as well.
Great. So now that everyone is here, you open up. You're like, oh, here's the. Well, first, let's go beat by beat. Do you show them the receipt?
I'll get to that, but
We'll
since
get to
like
the
we've already
receipt.
got this,
Okay.
this is already like
So
open
you
up.
open
like,
up. You
for
have
us.
the open folder, and you can start reading aloud from the proposal. Basically, it says that there has been some evidence unearthed that in the northernmost section of the city, at the foothills, there are some. There's evidence that there might be historically significant, a historically significant artifact in one of the kind of like dwarven spaces that was unearthed under one of the abandoned estates. And it's like of cultural significance to the region. It's likely of some kind of like religious, like related to the religion, the ancient religion of this local populace of dwarves, um, and that it would likely be of great benefit for the university to explore. Um, it's uh, it looks like it is a um, like it highlights that this is an exception to the work that's typically done by the scholar, um, as she is requesting funds to hire an expedition crew.
Does it mention any, I guess, like historical or folkloric figures?
Um, the proposal is not super specific. Um, there is, yeah, the language is very general. There isn't any like, oh yeah, I know about X,
I got you.
thing, especially because some of the dwarven culture here is not necessarily something that is easily translated into what like contemporary dwarven culture.
Hmm. Darn, it's not a ritual.
Well, the object might be related to one.
Yeah, but the thing is, the object's not familiar to me. I was considering using the spell to try and see if the missing parts of the notes were anywhere nearby. Um, hmm. So he's kind of just like mulling over what he's seen so far, and then after like pondering it for a few moments, he says, "Oh, I also found this receipt," and he produces the receipt. Now, is the research proposal handwritten?
Yes.
Okay. So, does it have like an author's signature?
Yes.
And
It's signed
is
by, oh, okay. Actually, this is a great question. So you open it up, you're looking at it and you're looking at the author's signature, and this is what you see. This is a traditional Vashican notation of someone's signature that's used typically by the humans of the region. Did it show for everyone?
was the handout?
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah, negative.
Oh gosh. Let's see.
Do you have it set
You could add
to
it to that.
specific players?
Yeah, I gotta delete it.
Yeah. And then just hit show to all.
How about
Oh, there
that?
we go. Oh, interesting.
So, with your really great investigative, so you immediately notice that this looks really off. Like the one that is on the proposal
Mhm.
looks a little different from the one that you remember seeing in the note.
Yeah, so as he like mentions the receipt and he opens his little notebook, he pulls out the receipt and he kind of just like offers it to no one in particular, just like in the general direction of the people who just showed up. And then
Go on.
whoever takes it, then he'll take the letter out and he is reading the letter and he's reading the proposal and he's kind of comparing the handwriting.
I'll grab the letter and I'll grab the receipt. And while the letter is being read out, Yarn's going to be taking a look at the paper itself. Like, does the receipt paper match the paper that the scrolled note
No.
has been written on? Okay. And with that, Yarn's going to start putting his particular skill set to work. Now he's looking for points of entry. He's checking out the lock to see if there's any evidence of anyone scratching around the inside with lock picks. He's checking the windows. Does it open? climbing up the ladder, checking the top shelf? Are there any like hidden little
Sure. With
vents to get in and out
20
of?
with that 26, everything looks undisturbed. It doesn't look like there's been a struggle in here. Like it doesn't look like anyone has jammed the window open. Like the frame looks intact. Everything's maybe a little dusty. Like it looks like no one's been in here for about a week. But you're not seeing anything that leads you to believe that somebody broke in here.
Okay. With that, Jon's going to take a look out the window, see if there's anyone down. Is it like a courtyard outside or something? See if anyone's paying attention to this window and movement inside the room. And if he doesn't spot anything outside, he's going to make for the corridor and see if there's anyone keeping an eye out for people entering this office in particular.
Nope, doesn't seem like anybody is here.
Okay, well, I'll share that information with the party and I'll take up position by the door.
So, let me see. Research proposal is very vague, short on detail. That letter that we received from the elder sister, was that letter signed?
Yes, and you notice that the signature doesn't match. Like,
So it's
like
not
it's
the same
this,
one on the.
it's the same symbols, but like the one on the letter looks weird. Like it just doesn't look like it looked like someone was forging it. And I don't
Right.
not everyone in the party could have noted that except for Emmerich. Emmerich, because of your previous role with the letter, your suspicion of it being a forgery is just completely cemented.
Fascinating. Well, it might be worth paying these secure travel people a visit to see if they have any more information about this receipt. But we also might want to ask Inyotisi if anybody else was included in this research project of hers. There may have been a conflict of interest.
Or given that the updates are missing, is there any like archive that the researchers might have
Right, or
kept
perhaps
backup
he-
copies?
Perhaps he saw it before the updates were removed and can give us some more information about what information they contained.
Yeah, we also need to talk to Kinye as well while we're here.
Ah, yes, the poet.
Yoth
Yep.
also had one lead that might help you with this topic.
Usifa, yeah. I think mainly like looking at the situation, it sounds like her sister was kind of wrong though, right? Because it sounded like she was paying for specific people in an excavation team, right? Am I wrong in that? Did I hear that wrong? It sounds like
What-
she was kind of leaning towards like looking at the ruins specifically, like the area specifically. Or am I misapprehending
Her
that?
sister made it clear that she doesn't pay attention to her sister.
Yeah, she doesn't know anything. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying
Yeah.
she's wrong because it
Yeah.
made me feel better about.
Okay.
Yeah, like the research
Don't
proposal
jerk
is
was wrong.
mentioning some ruins buried underneath an estate,
Yeah.
an abandoned estate, in the northern part of the city.
Mhm.
So mentally, that's where Yoth's kind of locking, like, because as a player as well, I'm just kind of like where my brain's locking.
Mhm.
But I will go. I'll go with the party wherever we're going question wise, and I guess I would kind of return back to the elder we were speaking to, and ask them about Usifa's location in the building. Or since we're already at the same
You
building,
got that.
yeah, that's right. So I'll go there, kind of on my own.
Okay. Yoth is heading right now to go talk to Asifa, the faculty chair. Do you not tell anybody where you're going or why?
I suppose, like, shortly after my spiel about plants, and then like listening to everything and kind of locking it all in, Yoth kind of just disinterestedly wanders out the door without really saying anything. If someone
Yeah.
says, "Hey, where are you going?" or something like that, yeah, he.
Your intern is wandering away. What do you do?
Hey, where are you going?
The one I spoke about. You heard me ask about possible Dwarven experts. The elder said Asifa was the one I should speak to, so I'm just gonna go get that sorted. But it sounds like we kind of understand where we're going, right? I'd say to Emmerich.
Yes. The subject of this research proposal, and as he says that, he kind of just scoops the folder off the table and closes it and just tucks it under his arm. He says it seems quite intriguing, but I believe it is more of a motive. Although, I suppose if we keep investigating, we may very well find that our trail leads to those ruins.
Well, it could be the case that someone on this team is trying to cover up the fact that something dire happened to a compatriot in this endeavor, and just does not want it to be, brought forward that something happened in this probably not terribly well-funded research project. Either way, I'm going to ask Asifa if she has any information. Emmerich, you have information regarding her endeavors, so it may be best for you to accompany me.
You make a good point. Does anybody have any problems with me taking these notes with me?
As long as you don't lose them.
Oh no.
Does the weasel look hungry?
Probably. He was.
That's a good point.
Honey, it is like nearly noon. Everybody is hungry right now.
Ooh, cafeteria visit. That's probably where the student is.
And then let me see. He takes a moment and he kind of reflects on what Yoth said, and then he thinks maybe that receipt was placed there. Like, it wasn't just obvious, it was placed there like deliberately and conspicuously. Which again could probably be something they could answer if they actually visited the place and questioned the people there. But he will, if everybody's done looking at it, he'll probably take that receipt with him as well.
Yeah, Jan will hand over the receipt.
All right, thank you very much. I will be accompanying y'all. If anybody has any need of me, we shall reconvene.
1 second, just to be sure. We have documented information regarding what we're seeking, and of course they may ask us to hand that over. Would you kindly just quickly read over the document or hand it to me so I can do so?
Oh, yes, by all means. He
Okay.
hands it over.
I'm going to quickly just kind of like go through it, scrolling through and looking at it mainly, just kind of photographically like taking it in. Then hand the book back, touch my head and cast encode thoughts, and pull out a strand of like blue filament and drop that in my pocket. It'll be good for about an 8-hour span. I'll put it back in and we'll recode it afterwards. No problem. Let's go.
Emmerich is not terribly keen on telling other people that he's taking stuff from the office. He mostly wants to hang on to these research notes for his benefit.
Yeah.
And of course they'll probably come handy at some point. So he puts them in his satchel and then in the same motion pulls the weasel out and transfers it to one of his pockets.
I'm pretty sure that's done like not in such a fashion that it wouldn't be kind of noticed that that's going to be the case, right?
That it wouldn't be what?
Like I'm going to see it happening, right? Like I just
Yeah,
want. Okay.
yeah.
So I go. Oh, well, if you're planning on stealing them, you could have just told me that was the case. I wouldn't have wasted the time.
Oh, well, we've been working together for a little while. I thought you...
I didn't know that's what you were into, but that's fair. Fine, perfect. Not a problem. Some light reading for later. Enjoyable.
Exactly.
Let's go. And we'll head to Asafa.
And you all travel together to no one breaks away to go to the cafeteria to get a snack.
You folks want to come with us?
Oh, I'll break over and go get a snack.
Oh,
Sounds like a cat.
Mari's like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
She says.
Given
Oh,
the
We've
you know,
been
well-
walking a lot. She
I've
hungry.
been walking a lot. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, given that-
would you mind taking Chico here with you? I think he's getting a bit peckish.
Teacup.
Chico.
What's his name?
Chico.
How many names has this thing gone through already?
I don't know.
A
Where did
few,
Teacup
right?
come from?
I don't know. I thought
That's
he
the
said
gimmick.
teacup earlier.
Elizabeth, you're just
He did.
hallucinating.
Teacup was stuck in my head as the weasel's name.
No, it was Chico.
Okay, so it
Chico.
wasn't just me.
I'm pretty sure you said teacup, which was way better.
I like Chico.
Yeah, it's Chico. I literally wrote
like
it on my
both.
character sheet.
She'll take Chico with her.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
under the list of characters. Chico, the weasel.
There you go.
To the
So
cafeteria for me.
the Hungry Tummy Brigade heads to the cafeteria, and Yoth and Imric
Imric.
head to to Asafa's office.
Tap, 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 tap.
Come in, it's open. Office hours aren't for another 45 minutes. Oh,
I open it up. Simple, clear as day.
okay. You two are not students.
Technically,
right?
actually, I am, but
Oh,
not
at
terribly
this
important.
university?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm an exchange student from Ikashard.
oh,
But
okay.
I was foisted upon the consortium, and here I am seeking information at the university. Hopefully, unlike most of the courses I've had thus far, this will actually be useful information that could progress me forward. So,
Ah,
that said, I am under the impression that you happen to be an expert regarding the Dwarvish historical information regarding the region, and you were affiliated with one, and I kind of gesture to Emmerich, as like my brain is not, like my character seems to be like disinterested with the person we're looking for his name.
Unatachi.
Unatachi. Wait, that's not right. And I look. Oh, yes, it is. Right, Unatachi.
Okay, so Asafa Samarati is a 6 foot tall fairy. It's not 6 foot tall, 6-inch tall fairy.
I was like,
Oh, I was
that's
about to be
a
like,
really
holy
big
shit.
fairy.
Oh my god.
6
He
inch
got
tall.
gigantism.
She is kind of her like color like aesthetic is sort of blue gray. She looks a little bit older, and she, oh my god, no, and she has like a similar kind of like mini office setup. It doesn't look as like persnickety as the president of the president of the consortium. It's a little bit more like a little bit more kind of like not messy, but a little cluttered. And she welcomes you in and it's like, okay, yes, you're here about Unatachi. Good. She's hasn't been coming to her classes. It's very unlike her. I'm okay. Yes, you're investigating.
She was researching Dwarvish matters. The presumption from me and
Her
my
research.
fellow investigators.
Her research.
Yes.
Oh, so you were the co-author of the proposal.
Well, no. Oh, you have her proposal.
It's back
Well,
in her
we-
office.
Yeah,
Okay.
we saw it while we were...
Well, no. I kind of like hold my arm on Emmerich, like stop trying to lie. You're not good at it. And I say it's back in her office.
Okay.
We had access to it, but we left it
Oh
where
yes,
it was.
I'm sure InyoTC uh, uh has a key to her office. I'm sure. Yes. Well, you think she's missing because of her research? Well,
It could be the case that she's missing because of her research, but it could be the case that she might have done something drastic and tried to research more on the ground, so to say.
yes. She's been she's given some updates.
Since when?
Let me see. And you see her flit away, and she kind of is going through some papers, like she's hoisting them up with kind of a lot of effort and throwing them behind her. Nope, that's not it. Nope.
In the-
Okay, here. And there's a packet.
1 second though. In the internum, while the fairy is searching for articles, Yoth kind of strides across the room and then kind of turns back on Imric, almost like a panther, kind of like prowling the room. And when he looks at Imric, Imric hears Yoth in his mind and says, "Fairies can be quite social creatures, and they will probably be able to see past any deception you put forward. Be mindful what you say."
Can Imric reply?
Yes. I will.
Okay.
I will cast the spell.
Okay, then yeah, he will be like, very well. You talk, I will observe.
Yeah. So actually, apologies. You can't reply. I can communicate. Oh, I can communicate telepathically. So yeah, that's fine. I guess that means back and forth. It doesn't really say. It says communicate. That word means.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah, I think it's more like you're reading his mind while you're talking.
Yeah. So then yes, you can reply, and I suppose we can be connected throughout this whole dialogue.
Well, either way, then that's what we're gonna do. I'll let him do all the talkie, and Emmerich will just like watch her reactions, but also kind of be checking things out that he can see in the office.
So she will produce this packet and turn around. I assume when she turns around, you're both standing there looking very innocent and not conniving. And she says, "Okay, yes, here is these are the updates on Fear." She on the morning of Fear, before she left, because believe it or not, she actually was doing an expedition. Not anything dangerous, just kind of right to the north of the city. There's an abandoned estate. It looks like there was some dwarven activity there that seemed historically important. It looks like an artifact related to some kind of fertility, some kind of spiritual, fertile, not quite a goddess, some sort of force or deity. To be certain, nothing arcanically significant from what I can tell from her notes. Just something culturally meaningful. And these are the notes.
Reach out.
She hands them over.
Take them. I will then casually, but almost like in a way that denotes, subordinate and in charge. I will pass them to Emmerich, and then in his mind I say, "Play along. I mean no insult." And I pat the pages to Emmerich for him to file them away.
Thank you.
We will take these with us and we will peruse them, if that is all right.
Yes,
will,
you're
of
welcome. You're welcome to review it. I'm sure you can use Unatachi's office. If you need a workspace, please return it.
Of course.
It's important to have it, and for us to have it here at the university.
Every article
Uh,
regarding the investigation will be returned to its proper place once the whereabouts of Unatachi are ascertained.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Thinking about protocol and academics, and Unatachi's missing.
I have read the handout and the manual that all students receive upon entering into the school, memorize it, and I will be sure that everything that happens while we are on campus, as long as it is done within my eyesight, is done correctly and proper.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry. What were your names?
Yothvid Soth.
And
Imric Ormar.
okay. Well, it's great to meet both of you. I've got a lecture in about 2 minutes, and so I gotta get out of here.
If anything
thank you.
comes
Yes.
to mind, please reach out to the consortium and make sure that President Cindy Jawarti is made aware of any further information that you might come. If you have anything that just springs to mind memory wise, or if there are other notes that need to be considered, that is who you should contact. Thank you so much.
I'll send a message to Jauharati if anything comes up.
Perfect. And we will exit. Well,
That was easy enough.
we have a
He
location.
immediately starts like flipping through all the updates.
We have a location, I presume, in those notes.
Yeah, there is an exact location of where the expedition is. It's maybe about an hour and a half north of the city.
That's going to be an auto carriage drive.
Oh, y'all could walk.
Yes, I do
It's
believe
it's
we should,
an hour and a half on a carriage.
That's fine. I'd rather
Right.
it be. It's still raining.
Yeah, it would be
Right.
many hours
Yeah.
on foot.
I'm okay being able to just like discharge water from me, and the cold doesn't affect me. So I'm okay with that. But like over the course of an hour and 30 minutes, that
Right.
could be potential damage or mold.
That would probably be like a 4-hour walk.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Carriage it is.
Auto carriage. Bill it to the
So
consortium.
No, I'll just pay for it.
Bill it to John.
y'all are.
like I got those student loans, y'all.
Yeah, I'll pay those back later.
So
Hey, I know.
The loans are paying for it.
so you are perusing the pages, and you find that the that Unatachi has followed the clues to an interesting object related to an unnamed dwarven like spirit that is a symbol for the divine feminine, for fertility, and that she has hired a an expedition team called Treasure's Gleam Expeditions. You see the name Gima Bonebrine notated as the main contact, and you if you are perusing the papers, you should roll and kind of looking for additional information. You should roll investigation. It's not a high
Well,
DC.
I was going to say, we are going to head back to where we knew
Okay.
they were headed. And if that's
To
the
the cafeteria?
cafeteria, we'll take up a booth, kind of
Okay.
sit down together, and we'll have Imric pull out first, and I'm kind of mentally instructing through Awakened Mind, pull out her notes that we're keeping, wink, 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 first, and put those underneath all the papers we just got, so that we can all look at it all together, and people will think it's all the same stuff, but then after the fashion, you can slip it back away. Basically, Yoth is facilitating Imric's theft
Being sneaky.
Theft.
and kind of telling him how to do it so other people don't ask questions.
Right. Now he's more than happy to like return the stuff when he's done with it, but he's not one to like ask for permission when it comes to stuff.
Sure.
Mhm.
And I think
Okay.
Yoth is at the point where he thinks that Imric just wants it for like keeps. So Yoth is cool with that and keeps kind of like almost in like a kind of like very mansplaining kind of way, just trying to even if Imric is like a super thief, like it doesn't matter. Yoth is trying to tell him how to do it because that's just where we're at right now.
Totally fine.
Okay. So you kind of like put all the pieces of the puzzle together. You're sitting in the cafeteria, a booth. I don't know that there's like a table in like this corner, and there's students milling about, but it's not that busy. No, actually, it's lunchtime. It's packed.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
Well, luckily they came early and they secured a spot.
Yeah.
So we'll all kind of group up there and then kind of going over everything. Who are our main kind of like bookish people? And surprise, it's not the warlock.
Well,
It's Emmerich.
surprise!
Not-
Your centaur is a great investigator.
I figured that was true.
Yes, he is all. Yeah, he's a great investigator.
Well,
So,
Imric help Jan?
mhm.
Yeah, I think his bonus is slightly higher than mine.
That's perfect. Then yeah,
Ever so
basically
slightly.
it's kind of like an introductory. Imric's kind of explaining everything we know and gathered, and then Jan's giving it more scrutiny.
Roll to investigate with advantage.
19.
Perfect. So you're all turning the pages over. You're looking at this kind of like historical info. A lot of it is sort of like, on the cutting edge. So there's not like, you're not like, oh yeah, like it's that Dwarven thing that we know about. It's like, oh, this is kind of new and different. And however, as you turn the pages, you notice like on like a page where there's not really supposed to be anything, like on a page where it's kind of like this page is intentionally left blank kind of page, like it should be blank. You notice kind of upside down, scrolled in Unatachi's hand, the words Nila Nastasiel.
Hmm.
Hold on. Nila Nastasiel Mons 25.
Now, is this written across multiple pages or
No,
just one?
7 Flowers Market. And
Is
on that,
Mons like colloquial for
Mons is
coins?
Monday.
'Cause I've got. Okay. Yeah, I had different words written down for the coins, so.
So that's next Monday.
Huh.
Not the Monday we're on, but or the Mons.
That was
Not the Mons we're on, but the
previous.
Mons. No, because it says 7. Today is just after the turn of the month, was it not?
today is
7.
Mons 31.
Yeah. So
Got
that
it.
would have been the day after she had been at her sister's.
Okay, this is the past, not an update. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emmerich pulls out the receipt and he like sets it down next to it. He's like looking at the receipt and he's looking at whatever those words mean. And he's just thinking to himself, like what's the connection here?
Yeah,
Seems like
that.
she was due to meet Nila.
it's 9:03.
Yeah.
You have discovered one
We're
more
going
piece
there.
of the puzzle. Okay. Thank you everybody for playing and for being curious and investigative. And I will we'll get together again tomorrow for the rest of the adventure.
Thanks for watching,
Sweet.
listening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.